Good morning, friends. It's the DJ Wonder Chrissy, Migrant Mayhem Land Cruiser Midwest, streaming from Chicago, home of the upcoming DNC. Yeah, DNC. Welcome to the show. And we've got, what do we got playing here today? We've got Shake by Anno Domino Beats. Let's bring the music down. Get the show on the road. Let's get the show on the road. I've had a request yesterday from a viewer, Michael. Shout out to Michael Sellers, I guess, from Florida, who's wanting to know what's happening with the migrants in Chicago. And I responded to Michael. I said, hey, bud, there's not much happening. The news media is on like a migrant blackout. It's been, these videos here come 2 weeks ago. So I'm not hearing about buses hitting Chicago. We were expecting some Governor Abbott buses to be hitting Chicago right before the DNC, but they haven't sent any just yet that I'm aware of. I suspect Texas is more focused on getting their southern part of the state back up and running after Hurricane Beryl. They had a big hurricane down there about a week or so ago. I heard they had like maybe 2 million people without power down there. They had a major issue with power, and the power company was being thrashed for not doing their job and not being prepared to deal with the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. So let's go back to the last I heard about the migrants was J.B. Pritzker signed a law went into effect to allow illegal migrants the ability to get a license, a driver's license. So let's hear about that. And if you got a head on you, the only reason for that is to allow them to vote, because when in the state of Illinois, just about every state agency, if they're worth their weight in salt, wants to register you to vote when you have an interaction with them. The DMV, just about any agency offers the ability to register yourself to vote, whether you're dead or alive, okay? One of the requirements is you have to be a citizen, but there's no verification of citizenship. You just sign and check a little box saying that you are, and that if you're lying, you're subject to perjury. So that's just checking a box and lying. You can vote. So that's why they're giving all these people driver's license instead of what they used to have was temporary IDs. So let's listen to the CBS Chicago report about undocumented migrants now being able to get a standard Illinois driver's license.
Eligible undocumented immigrants can apply for standard driver's licenses in Illinois. Officials hope this reduces the stigma around driving without citizenship and makes the roads across the state safer. CBS 2's Sabrina Franza is live for us on this. And Sabrina, how different is this new law from what we've seen before?
Hey, Marie, this new law replaces what was known as TVDL. That's a temporary visitor's driver's license with a standard Illinois driver's license, much like the one most documented Americans have here in the state of Illinois, whereas previously you couldn't use TVDL as a form of ID. Now you can. Here's the old license. You see this large purple rectangle at the top of the card distinguishing this one as a temporary visitor's driver's license. The person who holds this has completed their written and road tests and has proof of insurance, but does not have documentation as a U.S. citizen. Now those will be replaced with these standard driver's licenses with the same red rectangle that every Illinois license has. These would just say federal limits apply up top. License holders can use that form of ID while doing things like filling prescriptions, applying for an apartment, or opening a bank.
Yeah, so they come up with reasons on why it's absolutely necessary for them to get by. They need to have a driver's license. And how many illegals, if they bought a car, have insurance? Probably very few. Very few. I think you can get your driver's, your license plates and everything without having proof of insurance. I think that's a true statement, folks.
Bank account. They cannot use it to vote. The new law also prohibits the use of data from licenses to be used for immigration enforcement purposes.
She says they can't use it to vote, but what's stopping them? That's all I'm saying.
Only when an immigration agent provides a court-ordered warrant or subpoena can they request that information. The change, which mimics similar laws already in place in other states like New York, New Jersey, and California, aims to encourage...
Those are some more corrupt states that Illinois likes to follow suit. Oh, New York and California, yeah, that you never... Pretty much all the time when people mention California, New York, and Illinois comes in there right away. They all follow each other on corrupt policies.
Unlicensed drivers to take their road tests with proof of insurance.
That means fewer drivers with valid driver's licenses. It means fewer drivers who have passed written driving tests or learned the rules of the road. It means fewer drivers who have passed stringent behind...
Yeah, this is our... Secretary of State Alexi, a good demo rat.
Behind the wheel driving tests.
The state estimates that they will mail out 22,000 new IDs to those who have already requested them today. They also say over 300,000 people here just in the state of Illinois are eligible for this new change. In the control room, Sabrina Franza, CBS 2 News.
Sabrina, thank you.
So there you go. We've got tons of illegals in Illinois. That's a fact. Let's show you a couple of weeks ago, the state of Illinois opened up 2 new shelters. One in Hyde Park that they had used during the prior winter and closed it down. And I guess they're renting or bought or something this brand new Holiday Inn. Brand new. Out by Midway somewhere. So... they're ready to I think they're trying to get a lot of the migrants out of, it's called the Inn of Chicago. It's a seedy hotel, I believe, down a block away from Michigan Avenue. And there's been some problems down there. There's a lot of people with money. It's an upscale area. And... they've been causing a lot of crime and havoc down there, so I think they're looking to relocate some of these people that are now staying a block away from Michigan Avenue in downtown Chicago, River North area, out to someplace else. If not just for the DNC, because that's where a lot of people from the DNC are going to be staying and hanging out. They just want to move this problem further away from downtown Chicago. So let's look at this report here. Hope you're having a bell-ringing week, bell-ringing Tuesday, and have a great week. There you go. We got the sound machine up and running again today. So let's Let's listen to what they say about this new hotel.
City closed its temporary migrant shelter at Daly College this week as the state opened a new location near Midway. The number of people actually living in those shelters is at one of the lowest points since the migrant mission began. CBS 2 Sabrina from
Migrant mission.
the former hotel.
This hotel has turned into a state-run migrant
Gotta love Sabrina. Sabrina is easy on the eyes. She's easy on the eyes.
shelter. No one is allowed in or out unless they're escorted by security, and the city says they're prepping for a possible sudden increase in new arrivals. This hotel turned shelter can fit 950 people. Security cameras, personnel guard the area. It's not clear how many people are living there right now.
Looks like a nice place for a migrant. Pretty plush. Notice they're talking about putting migrants in here, not necessarily homeless. I just saw yesterday that there's 80 tents in Humboldt Park. They got a homeless issue in Humboldt Park now.
We do know there were only 5,876 people living at one of the city and state's 17 shelter locations. On January...
Yep, look at that. Big difference. 10,000 have found other housing or left our fair city.
12th, at peak capacity with 28 shelters, the city and state were housing 14,824 people. Just about a month ago, the city was operating at half capacity at its remaining shelter locations, we're told, leaving space for new arrivals that might be bussed here during the Democratic National Convention.
There is a small drop in the numbers of people coming to Chicago, but definitely we want to make sure that we have bed available in case of a surge ahead of the DNC.
Johannes Bobby is the deputy director.
He's looking for the surge from Governor Abbott. We're telling you, Governor, send them, send them, send them now.
Of the Illinois Community for Displaced Immigrants. He also serves as a member on the city's new arrivals cabinet.
Helping the administration see things from an immigrant perspective. It's important to bring immigrants at the center of the table.
He explained how Chicago plans to repurpose at least some of the infrastructure they've created to respond to the migrant crisis. We've mapped out the shelters currently in operation to help support an overall anti-homelessness mission.
We really want to ensure that homeless people in general, not only the new arrival, get access to mental health, get access to support that they deserve.
In the short term, the state is making more space, nearly delivering on the promise they made in November to provide 2,000 additional beds to the city, opening this hotel location as well as another in Hyde Park that can house up to 750 people.
You don't want people to live in the shelter. You want people to have access to housing, stable housing. And the shelter should not be a place for people to live indefinitely.
At last check, the city told us they hadn't heard any specific details on how many people to possibly expect during the DNC. They've told us they haven't heard anything from Texas. We're near Midway Airport. Sabrina Franza, CBS 2 News.
Okay, so there was a great interview yesterday on Tucker Carlson where he interviewed a retired general, I think General MacArthur. He stated that on average, an illegal migrant, once they come across the border, is going to get $2,200 a month from our government, while a person who toils at the bottom end of the wage range, works for 30-some years, and is paying into the Social Security fund, may only take home, after 30 years, $1,400. Yet, the illegal migrant who doesn't pay into the system, doesn't work a lick or a day at all into Social Security, is going to get $2,200 a month. What's wrong with this equation, folks? Totally screwed up. Totally screwed up. So that's what I got on the migrants. I also heard that New York City is on its path to spend $2 billion this year just in hotels for the illegals. There's a lot of there's a lot of stores in Midtown and downtown Manhattan that are not taking EBT cards anymore because they don't want the riffraff of the migrants around with their EBT cards. So that's kind of a new thing happening in New York City. Stores are actually turning away customers with EBTs because they don't want the illegals coming into their establishment. It also, the fact that there's so many hotels being used by the illegals. I think they had last I heard, New York City had it somewhere between 160 and 180,000 illegals walk through their fair city in the last year and a half. As a result, summertime prices, average prices for hotels for tourism, the people that are paying for their hotels, had gone up substantially. So there you go. There's an impact to you, the normal consumer. Not only are you paying for the hotels for the illegals, you're paying more for the hotel that you're getting when you decide to do a little bit of R&R in New York City if you so desire. Why anybody would, I don't know. I don't know why anybody would want to go to New York City at this point in time. We got Brian M. here. Why did they try to help out the Venezuelans, but the years they never did anything to the Mexicans the same way? Yeah, Brian, because it wasn't an easy way to improve their vote numbers, and the progressives weren't running the show. A lot of people don't realize at a state level of Chicago or Illinois and the city level of Chicago, the progressives are running the show. The Democrat Party in the state of Illinois, city of Chicago, has been hijacked by the progressives. So this is all a progressive policy where they want massive migration to come in and to keep their party in power for the rest of their lives. So that's what's going on there. So thanks for joining us, Brian M. Kind of looks like Bart Simpson kind of icon he's got going on there. All right, so that's all I have for today. I'm going to end it here. Like, share, and subscribe. This is the DJ. This is Migrant Mayhem, and we're giving you guys an update on the migrants. If you got any updates, any news, breaking news on the migrants, comment down below. We like all the news sources we can get. So we'll end this show as we end every show with a hand slap and a see ya.